Oh, hi, Ike. Hey, what do you think of my new hat? Do I look like a millionaire? No? Well, I gave it a shot. We'll stick with the old one. Say, we've been using that time machine of yours to look into the future. I thought it might be fun to look into the past for once and check out something that happened back in 1849. That's right, the California Gold Rush. Now, most of us know that John Sutter was building a sawmill along the American River up northeast of Sacramento, and he hired a man named James Marshall, an engineer, to design and build that sawmill for him. Well, one day, in fact, January the 19th of 1848, I believe, Mr. Marshall actually discovered gold in that river. And he told a couple of people, but then he went to Mr. Sutter and said, hey, look what I found. And Mr. Sutter said, hey, keep it quiet. I got work to get done here, and it'll never get done if anybody finds out there's gold in that river. Well, it didn't work. Word got out. We're going to hear one man's tale of just how that happened. It's from Ed Allen, a friend of mine up in Coloma, which is right near where the old Fort Sutter was. And, well, let's turn it over to Ed. Here we go. Right now we're alongside the American River, just outside of Coloma, California. This very spot is where James Marshall discovered gold in California in 1848.
James Marshall discovered gold, but Sam Brannan started the gold rush, and Sam Brannan was a merchant. He was also a Mormon elder, and that clerk at Sutter's Fort, when that teamster came back to the fort, I didn't talk about this with the kids, but the guy bought a bottle of gin with the money, and because gold is money, and he didn't know it was gold, so they got in a big argument, and the teamster told him, take it over to Sutter's office, see what Sutter has to say. He had figured out what was going on. You know, that Sutter came down here for a day, and Marshall came up there for a day, and you know, it wasn't normal. Yeah. So he had figured, yeah, they discovered gold. And of course Sutter had to say, yeah, that is gold. So he got his bottle, but the clerk worked for Sam Brannan. So Brannan comes out here immediately, finds some gold in the river, and then on his way home, he's going along the South Fork of the American River. Well, this is one project that Sutter had going on. The other one was a group of Mormons were building a grist mill for him down on the South Fork of the American River. As soon as gold's discovered, they lay down their tools and start working on the gold. Well, he comes upon these guys, and they're all Mormons, so he tithes them 25% and goes back to San Francisco, where he owns the newspaper. Also, he has an article written about the gold discovery. Then he has 2,000 copies printed. Well, there's only 700 people in San Francisco, about half of them can read and write. He has those printed to put on mules to take to Missouri. Now, a mule travels about 4.5 miles an hour. So in a 10-hour day, you know, you got 45 miles. That's a lot faster than my wagon. And what he was doing was he was disseminating the information about the gold discovery. Then he takes a bottle full of gold dust down to Portsmouth Square, which is the big square in San Francisco, starts waving it over his head saying, gold, gold, gold from the American River. So he gets everybody fired up, and the town just empties out. I mean, a week later, there's like 10 people living in San Francisco. They've all just locked up and gone. And in the article, he says that you don't have to take anything with you to the gold fields. You can buy everything you need at Sutter's Fort.
There you go.
So he became California's first millionaire. Unfortunately, he lost most of his money in a divorce.
Back then, still too, huh?
Yeah, I didn't read that in the museum, but it's...
As a matter of fact, that's this equal separation of property in a divorce. That comes from their separation.
Wow.
Yeah.
That many years ago.
You needed a better lawyer back then.
Yeah, she wanted her money in cash. She got it in cash. She started speculating in Nevada silver mine stocks and lost every penny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he was broke at that point too. His low point in his career is he and his second wife were living in Guaymas, Mexico, and he was selling pencils door to door.
Well, That just goes to show you, you never know what you're going to find out when you go looking into history. I met a few other people up there in Coloma. One of them was a fellow named Bob Worth. He's one of the local blacksmiths, and he showed me all around the blacksmith shop there. And also Ed had more to say about the sawmill that John Sutter built. So we'll check that out in a future show, but for right now, I have to get going. So I'll see you next week at the Haunted Saloon.